Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to February's Mover Masterclass. So this month, we're delighted to have Travis Weathers. Here's our guest speaker for today. Travis helps moving company owners double their revenue and by helping them being found all over Google. So Travis, we're super excited to have you here today. So I'll hand it over to you.
All right, thanks, Claire. Appreciate you guys having me on today. I was, I'll be honest. At first, a few years ago, I was skeptical about Oncue, really just because I didn't understand what they did. So I had actually had a couple of clients sign up a couple years ago, and you guys have really blown it away for sales. So some of my best clients use Oncue, so I'm excited to be here. So let's see here. You want me to share my screen here? Let me get my presentation up real quick.
Awesome, sounds good.
There you go. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching this. Really, my goal here is kind of talk about SEO as a moving business owner, what you should be thinking about, what you should be concerned about, what you could be doing, and really just encourage you guys to really do a good job at running your business. And so I've been doing this for about 2.5 years now, focusing on just SEO for the moving companies. And our goal is to really help you double your revenue. But there's a lot of things that you guys can do before even contacting an SEO company to really help you in rankings and help you run a better business. So that's kind of what we'll go in right now. What I'd like to just start with, for those of you who do not know, SEO stands for search engine optimization. And really that can be done for any search engine, Bing, Yahoo, Google. But the biggest, baddest guy out there is Google. So, most people refer to Google when we talk about search engine optimization. So today I kind of just want to talk about, SEO. So for you guys out there watching, there's probably three types of owners out there. There's ones, some of you guys don't really want to do SEO. You never want to touch SEO. My goal is to kind of convince you out of that by the end of this time. The other ones, you want to do SEO, which is great. That's why you're here. And the other ones want to do SEO, but it's maybe not the best time. So I get to kind of walk you guys through that. My goal is really to just spend the next 10 minutes and really help you guys, understand a little bit more about the SEO, kind of cut through the static of what a lot of people say SEO is out there or think SEO is. I'll try to do that in the next 10 minutes, and then I'll open it up and you guys can ask me any and all questions. I really am an open book. And so I want to be able to help you guys as much as possible. So I've got my coffee here and we'll just get going right into it. So first, kind of addressing what SEO is, I want to kind of show by an example here. And this is kind of what we talked about earlier, is getting your understanding of SEO, focusing on what you do best, staying profitable, being smart. Let's look at this moving company online here. This is a moving company, Seven Brothers. I want you to notice a few things here, right? I want you to notice they have 175 reviews at a solid 4.3 stars. They have beautiful, right here, they have beautiful branded photography. There's no stock photography in here. The landing page is very clear on what they do and very simple. There's call to actions, there's reviews, there's testimonials. So I just want to talk about Google and what Google's seeing on this. They're seeing exactly what you see, maybe just depending on the coding, maybe a little different, but this is what they see. And if you compare this, and if this is your company, reach out to me. This is not a bad website. I want to be very clear. If a website is a bad website, it means the website's not doing what it's supposed to do, and this could work. But if you look at this website here, there's a lot of stock photos, right? The Atlas van line stock photo. There's no personality to it. There's a kind of some blankness in there. And so you look at their reviews, they have great reviews, which is awesome, but they have 33 5-star reviews. And so this is what I want to compare. If you're a moving business owner, or sorry, if you're going to be moving and you're trying to reach out to one of these guys and the pricing is the same, who are you going to really reach out to, right? Is going to be the 175 at 4.3 stars, well branded online, or a guy who kind of has stock photos of a van line and 33-star reviews? Well, this is the question that Google's asking itself, right? Because in Google's eyes, think about what Google wants to do. They want to present to their customers, right? Anyone who is Googling something is their customers. They want to present to their customers a solid recommendation, right? And those solid recommendations are the ones that are coming up at the top of Google, right? And so who do you think they're going to favor? Someone with, 175 reviews or 5-star reviews? Someone with stock photos, non-stock photos? So that's what I want you to be thinking about. What Google is looking at is many different algorithms to determine a valuable website. And what I want you to understand is a valuable website means there's a valuable company behind it. Some of you guys have a valuable company. You love your clients. You love your business. You treat your employees well, and it shows. And that's why you continue to get reviews. Well, all SEO is doing is it's helping you to go through that process of proving that to Google. So let's think about real quick what the next 15 to 20 years looks like for you as a moving business owner, right? You've never invested in SEO. What is naturally going to happen in your business? Assuming you run a very good, well-run, profitable, community serving, loving business, right? Here's what's going to happen naturally, right? The business is going to have some local bloggers talk about them, right? You're going to move a blogger. They're going to talk about their, top 5 things to do in their city and why, that they just moved here, and they're going to link to you because you guys moved them, right? That's going to be natural. The other thing that's going to happen, you're going to get a lot of social interactions, tags, posting online, right? People tagging you on Facebook, people engaging on your Facebook profile. Okay. You probably are going to have multiple online profiles, right? So you're not going to just have Facebook. You're going to have Facebook and Yelp and probably Yellow Pages, and you're going to be in a lot of different directories, the BBB, and you're going to have reviews and engagement on there. Okay. That's, again, naturally going to happen. Okay, over a course of time. The business is probably going to have done, you're probably going to have done some charity event, right? You're probably going to do something in the community to be a good small business in the local community, and maybe a local news channel will cover you, right? Write a story about all the cool things you did for, Move for Hunger or whatever it is, and they're going to give you a link back to the website, right? That's going to happen. You're also going to continue to get reviews on your Google My Business, and naturally, you're going to get more reviews and more reviews and more people talking about you. Therefore, more people are going to be coming to your website, and you're going to be getting more traffic. That's going to naturally happen. This is where an SEO company comes in. This is where an SEO company adds value to you, is instead of waiting for 15, 20 years, a good SEO company will naturally expedite these results. It says here, any good SEO company can't unnaturally expedite results without compromising something. So there are SEO companies out there that can get you quick results, but they will be compromising something, and that won't help you last long term. What a good SEO company is going to be doing is help some of these natural things that would happen over time. They're going to help you expedite it, not in 15, 20 years, but in a year, in 2 years. And they're going to help do that. They're going to help you get press releases. They're going to help you get more backlinks. They're going to set up your website so Google values you as a business online. That's the point. Speeding up the business and ranking and dominating in an industry that would maybe take you 15 years to do on Google, right? So we have clients who have come to us, and 2 years later, they're really dominating their local market online. Google, Bing, Yelp, Google, Bing, and Yahoo. And they're dominating online in most keywords that are relevant sales-focused keywords, right? They're on the top page for, right? Well, the benefit is they probably would have been there in 15, 20 years. We just have the opportunity to get paid and for you to pay someone to expedite that process. So what I wanted to make sure you know is, notice how I didn't use some sleazy kind of sales stuff, right? I didn't say, well, those people that are going to get ranked on Google need a WordPress website, right? Because that's not true, right? Wix websites, Weebly websites will rank no matter what. There's really bad websites out there, or Weebly websites out there that rank really well because they've been in the business for a long, long time. So this is why I want to kind of help you stay away from these things. When you think about SEO as a moving business owner, don't think about SEO as what are the 7 things I can do to get ranked online. It really doesn't work like that. And I'm going to go into how you can help yourself, get better SEO rankings online without compromising, your integrity, and without compromising what your business looks like online. So the reason most people are saying something like, you need this, you need to stuff keywords, you need to do a WordPress site is, 1, they're probably a little sleazy on the sales, right? Because they want to sell you something, right? Or 2, the process may be built around WordPress. So if someone ever tells you that, oh, the only way to rank online is to have a WordPress website, I would run for the walls, right? Because that's not the thing. Now, if someone says, hey, we need you to do a WordPress site because our company built its process on a WordPress website, that makes sense. That's what we do as a company. So That's kind of what the benefit of an SEO company will do, right? They'll take what you would be in 15, 20 years, right? And what they're going to do is expedite that to the next couple of years, 3 years, and really help you through that process and continue onwards, right? So if you said, okay, Travis, that sounds great, but right now I don't want to do it, or I don't want to pay a company, or I'd rather do SEO on my own. What can I do now, right? So let's go through that. Apparently, number 5 is the most important here. Don't mess around with keywords. I'll get to that in a little bit. So things you can do. The first thing you do, and I can't tell you this, I jump on sales calls all the time and they go, what can I do? What can I do? Right? The first thing you can do is run a good, solid business. There's no point in going belly under by paying an SEO company if you're not going to be able to stay profitable. It's not only a good marketing strategy, but it's a good business strategy to make sure that you take profit in the business first. Even if that means taking a couple dollars, a couple $1,000, $200. The goal is that you start taking profitable sales and you start taking a profitable business from day one. So that's going to be a really good thing. And you can say, well, how does this help SEO? It kind of doesn't, but what it does is it gives you the ability to be a smart business owner and be strategically placed to be able to invest in SEO in the future. The other thing you can do is get reviews. I know you've heard this already, but I can tell you right now, companies who are dominating their local area have tons of reviews and they're all at 5 stars. They do whatever they need to do to get the reviews that they need. I don't even work with companies who have less than 4-star reviews because it's just, it's a competitive business out there. So if you're going to stay competitive when it comes to local ranking, you really need to get 5-star reviews. The other thing you can do is be involved in your community. This is something that's really overlooked at as an SEO agency or as SEO people out there is they overlook the value, or you're overlooking the value of being involved in the community. Being involved in a community will help you make networking connections, will help you, number one, drive more sales and more business, which is really ultimately the goal right now, right? And it will also help you make connections in an online fashion, right? If you're involved in the community, you meet another business owner, they write a blog about you on your website, you write a blog about them. This is all valuable stuff because of Google is way smart right now. Google is not what Google used to be 5 years ago and 10 years ago. Google will see the connections that you have local bloggers writing about you in a local area, and it will see that that has value in your business. The other thing you can do is build a page for your most relevant local community. Okay, so if you're sitting in, I'm going to use example, let's see here, I'm going to use Phoenix because I know Phoenix area really well. Imagine I'm in Phoenix, right? Or I'm in Chicago or LA or Fort Lauderdale, right? I'm not going to build a page for Movers Phoenix, right? Because Movers Phoenix is huge. That's a huge, I'm going to build a landing page for a very specific small city within the suburb of Phoenix. That is going to help Google see the exact specific focused targeted location that you care about and that you're going to be a part of. Absolutely, you can rank for bigger and better keywords down the line. You can rank for better cities, right? I'm with you on that. That's the ultimate goal. But starting out, things that you can do is focus on one local community and go after that. Where a lot of people go, and I might talk about this later on, where a lot of people go wrong is they build 1,000 landing pages, right, for all the different cities in their area, and they think that's what's going to help, and it's really not what's going to help. And that kind of transitions to number 5 that came up at the beginning. You really don't want to mess around with keywords. Don't try to stuff keywords. Don't try to write content specifically for keywords. Ultimately, it doesn't work. In an ideal situation, absolutely. Having something like Movers Chicago or Movers, Fort Lauderdale or Movers Miami or Movers Dallas, right? Those are very helpful. But don't think that just because you write some cool content on your website, it's going to rank. I know I have clients that have rankings in communities where they don't even mention the city Movers city, right? It's because Google values them on so many different levels. Google's looking at everything. Time of the day that the office is open. The days are gone where Google will just rank you number 1 for everything. I have clients who they rank number 1 and drop down to number 3 the moment their business closes down for the day. And at 5 p.m. when their business closes down, they drop down, and people who are open at 6 p.m. go up a little higher, right? It's just how it works nowadays. So let's see here. The other thing you can do is don't build, I already told you this, don't build 95 pages on every single city in your neighborhood. It doesn't look good. Google will see that traffic. They'll see you're not getting traffic to a bunch of these pages, and then Google will have some concerns. The other thing is stop reading SEO articles online and trying to execute that. I could tell you right now, if you went and audited, you had some SEO company audit all of our clients, right? Every single one of those SEO companies could find an issue with my websites, right? Or our clients' websites. Of course they can, right? But if you keep trying to do everything out there, that may not move the needle. There's very specific things that we focus on, or that someone should focus on to move the needle. And sometimes metadata doesn't move the needle. So stop getting sucked into these and really focus on your sales, focus on your business, and let an SEO expert take care of the other stuff. Check your Google My Business for relevancy. Again, it goes back to the locality, the city that you're ranking. Okay. I've seen guys that have Google My Business. They're in a city, let's say Chicago or a suburb there, and their Google My Business says, and the service area for Google My Business is the entire United States of America. Don't do that. It's not worth it. It's not helpful. It doesn't give Google any more valuable information. Of course, you can move someone long distance from Dallas to Phoenix, or San Diego to Phoenix. Of course, you can do that, but Google won't see that, because you serve the entire continental USA, that you're more valuable. It just doesn't work like that. The other thing you can do for SEO, right? The other thing you do for SEO is really stay focused. I can't tell you enough. This is just a good general business principle, right? The better you are at being focused, creating processes, being in the community, not, focusing on your moving business, not getting, sidetracked with Bitcoin and stocks and all this stuff. All that is fine, right? But if you can focus on your business, you're going to be a more profitable business owner. You're going to have more sales. You're going to have a better team. You're going to love your employees more. Your employees are going to stay around more. It's going to help you in the long run. Okay. So the other question you might start asking yourself is like, okay, Travis, this is really good, but when do I start investing in SEO? So here's what I want to talk about. Investing in SEO is a premium service, right? It means that you're going to have to track sales. Okay. So if you are not tracking sales right now, if you're not tracking where phone calls are coming in, every single phone call, if you're not writing that down somewhere, you need to start doing it today. Or if you signed up with an SEO company today, start doing it right away, because what it does is it helps you give a baseline for data, right? People ask me all the time, how do I know my SEO services are working? Well, a lot of our clients just see their sales go up, right? That's just, at the end of the day, that's the benefit of it. They see growth in their business. Sure, we can get down to the nitpicky of where they come from, but it's very hard to track SEO sometimes, because we can have, if you look at Bing pulls from the Yelp system right now. So someone could someone could Bing Movers Chicago, find their Yelp profile, because you're ranked top 3 on Bing, or top 5 on Bing. Go to your Yelp profile, see your reviews on Yelp, and call you from there. Well, the question is that attributed to Yelp or SEO? Well, the reality is that it's really attributed to SEO, but unfortunately, that's never going to be able to be tracked. So track your record of sales. That's a great way to figure out whether SEO is working. And more specifically, if someone calls in and says they found you on Google, mark that for SEO, right? All the other channels should be able to be sub-tracked, but that's a great way to do it. So when do you invest in SEO, think about your numbers, right? You want to make sure you're a smart business owner. Again, this is going down to basics. This has nothing to do specifically with SEO, but go look at your budget, right? And your marketing budget. You don't want your marketing budget to take up more than 10, 15% of your budget. Okay. I understand that maybe a lot of you guys are buying leads. That's a little bit different story. You're starting out, you're grinding, right? But at the end of the day, you don't want to suck everything up with one marketing channel and have no room for growth in the future for new marketing channels. I have very, very few business owners and clients who their only marketing channel is SEO, right? And it works for them. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, if you want to continue to grow, you need to have funds available to be able to invest in other marketing channels. So you have to be smart about it. It's wise, right? And it's really good to diversify. All of our top clients who get great results with SEO are also doing other forms of advertising, right? Postcards, right? Lead purchasing, or Google ads, or whatever their other form of marketing is, right? So it's wise to not take up your entire budget, especially if you've never worked with the company before. A lot of the clients who are doing SEO as their only marketing avenue with us have been able to kind of move away from marketing channels they don't like, because our services work, right? Or SEO services work, right? They probably didn't start with us just purely on SEO because they at the end of the day, although they wanted to trust us, they didn't know what the result. They couldn't trust us until we showed and proved to them. So like I said, as a business owner, you want to be able to diversify, not haphazardly diversify. That's why I talked about being focused, but strategically, one strategy at a time, tracking it, making sure it works, putting it to the side, let that happen and move on to the next one. It's a great way to grow your business. So for example, let's say an SEO company is charging $2,500 a month for their services. That means you're going to spend about $30,000 on SEO for the year. So if this may not be the wisest move if you're only making $100,000 for the gross income for the year, if that makes sense, because what that's going to happen is that's going to take up more than your budget that you wanted. Okay. You also want to have a good return on investment for that. So you're going to also want to see that when you start with this, you at least get the 5, 6, 7, and a lot of our clients are 10 times and more on a return on investment. So let's see here. Yeah, so let's say you want to invest in an SEO strategy out of the gate. If you're going to do that, it could be a risky move depending on who you're with, right? It could be a risky move just because you're starting out, right? We don't actually take on clients that are just starting out because there's a lot of value in net profit because you have the ability to grow your business, right? And so I don't want to take up all their net profit at the beginning because that's more important to them as a business owner. But if you're going to do it, track your results, see the profitability. Really, it comes down to, is your rankings going up? And are your sales going up in terms of, are more people saying they found you on Google, right? Sometimes your sales are going up because you're getting a lot of referrals and repeat customers and your rankings aren't going up. In fact, maybe they're tanking or going up a tiny bit, but your sales are going up. Well, if you are tracking your data, you can realize, that's actually because I'm doing really good business and I'm getting repeat customers, not because my SEO strategy is working. So maybe I need to look at someone else for an SEO strategy and really grow in annual sales. What I want you to understand on all this is you need to have a mindset of longevity when you do SEO. What that means is it doesn't mean that you just trust a company and don't look and close your eyes and go, I hope this works, right? Forever, right? But what it does mean is you need to be in the mindset that this is a marketing strategy in terms of SEO for the longevity. I mean, at the end of the day, any marketing strategy is in it for the long run, right? Until it doesn't become profitable. And if it doesn't become profitable, maybe it's just because things have changed a little bit, right? The postcards don't work, or the SEO strategy that initially worked 5 years ago don't work today. So you want to make sure you're able to change and diversify it, but you need to have a long-term investment. I won't take on clients who go, yep, I'll give you 2 months and see where it goes, because sometimes it just doesn't work in 2 months. I've had clients that crush it in 2 months, but I've had clients who just they don't crush it in 2 months. Google doesn't take what we do, so we have to shift things up. So Google is always changing. So as a business owner, you got to be on top of that. You always got to be allowing the changes yourself. And this is, well, again, a benefit of an SEO company is because Google is always changing, and you can't stay on top of it, but we can. We can be on top of it and take care of that mindset and take care of that burden for you and going, hey, we're preparing for that. We have clients who we're doing things now, preparing for the algorithm update in May. That's the benefit of it. So you want to be a smart business owner. Be a smart business owner and be a smart owner when you talk about SEO for the longevity of things. Now comes the question, finally, kind of to finish this all up, when should I quit investing in SEO? Easy answer, when it stops working, right? Here's the beauty of SEO. It's why I love it. It's hard to sell SEO to moving clients like you guys, right? But here's the beauty of it. When we do our job right, you get profitability out of the gate. You get profitability in the first 3 months and the first 6 months and the first 12 months. But again, it's all about that real estate on Google. So if you get to #1 spot, you'll stay there when you keep investing in SEO. Now, if it's done right and you stop paying an SEO company, you'll probably stay there for a little bit, but you may start dropping over time, right? So that's kind of the value of it. Think about feeding dogs in a kennel, right? You can feed your dog and it can become the biggest dog. And if you stop feeding it, it's still the biggest dog, but eventually the other dogs that are going to continue to get fed will continue to do that, right? If you look at 2 Men in a Truck, sometimes they're #1 on every city out there, right? Well, you know what? They continue to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars each month into SEO. So this is really what the benefit of SEO is. When it doesn't work, stop doing it. But when it works, it's a compounding snowball effect benefit for you. It's kind of like a retirement account. It just compounds in the value that you should do. And so most SEO companies, their fee will stay the same throughout the career of the time with you, or they'll go up very small amounts. And when that happens, if they're doing their job right and then you are getting results, it's really easy money to get more growth for your business. So at the end of the day, here's what I'm going to tell you. SEO is not black magic, right? It's not 3 + 2 = 5, A + B = C. It's different. It changes. It's hard work, and it doesn't fix a bad business. does not fix a bad business. If you have a bad foundational business, if you're not answering sales calls, if you're not loving and serving the client, if you're not being involved in the community, you're not treating your employees well, you're going to lose employees, you're not going to be able to service, you're going to get bad reviews. It's this snowball effect. So SEO, you can't just pay for SEO or pay for a marketing channel and just see this work, right? SEO works when you run a good business. It's not black magic, right? So SEO, really, my whole thing that I want to make sure you guys understand is SEO is in the long term, right? For well-run businesses. If you want to really be great and you want to rank well, you've got to run a good business. You got to be profitable. You got to be in the community. You got to serve and love your customers. Serve and love them, right? And with a good SEO company, you'll get really great results. So again, looking back at it, hey, SEO is great for you. You might not want to do it right when you start out. When you're ready to invest in it, have a mindset of longevity and just continue to be a smart business owner and love your clients and be the best business in your local community. So that's really it. I think it's really open for questions at this point. Whatever questions you guys have, just let us know, and I will be happy to be as open and transparent as possible, even if it's not the answer that you want to hear.
Awesome. Thank you, Travis, so much. That was super informative. I imagine that everybody watching also found it really helpful. I did have a few questions come in as you were chatting, so I'll just read out the ones that I've got. So somebody was asking, how do I get to the top of Google?
Black magic. No. How do you get to the top of Google? Like I said, run a really good business, right? SEO is going to probably be part of your strategy. There are very few times where you can come and just create a Google My Business, create a website, and be at the top of Google. Very, very rarely does that happen. So ultimately, the foundational of SEO is backlinks, content, and structure of so the Google algorithm can understand your business. So at the end of the day, focus on those three things. If you don't know how to focus on those three things, that's why you hire an SEO company.
Awesome. So somebody else asked, basically, you kind of touched on this already, but how long does it take to see results? Like, should they be expecting a week, 2 weeks, 6 months, 1 year? Like, what's the kind of time frame you would normally kind of tell people?
That's great. Kind of part of my sales pitch. Here's what I tell my clients and the clients that stay with us. In the first 3 months, you're probably going to know whether you got into you're in business with a good SEO company, right? Because you're going to get weekly reports or weekly updates. You're going to have some kind of communication with them ongoing. You're going to get reports from them consistently in the first 3 months. Like, you're going to see that they're running a good business. That's kind of your first 3 months, is that this, and you're going to see rankings increase, right? You may not be number one exactly where you want to be, but when you started month 1, every single one of my clients have better rankings by month 3. Yeah, it's not where they want to be, right? But it is a progress, right? It's a trend over time in the right direction. So the first 3 months you got into business with an SEO company, I tell people all the time, month 6, you're profitable. Month 3, you should be close to profitability on your investment. But if that's not the case, for sure, month 6. No, none of my clients are not profitable by month 6, so they wouldn't be paying us, right? So you're profitable by month 6. My goal, I tell people all the time, month 12, you know that this is working, right? And that's really where it's at. So if you guys are with an SEO company, you've been with them for multiple years and you haven't doubled your business, right? And you're running a really good business, they're probably not doing everything they can do. They're probably feeding you some lies. I just had a new client that signed on with us, and they've been with the company for 4 years, and you go and you look at their, what they've got, and it's like, there's nothing there, right? And so you really have to track the results, track the keywords, make sure they're relevant keywords. But the first year, for sure, I tell people, got to give it a year. If you got to get out early because they're a bad business, so be it. But give them about a year, 6 months for sure for profitability.
Okay, awesome, good to know. So I had somebody submit a question earlier today. So they were saying that they had tried some SEO for the last kind of 6 months, and they did see some results. Like, they saw their traffic improve, they saw them kind of rise higher through the rankings. They don't want to keep paying for it, and their question was, what happens if they stop? Like, if they stop SEO efforts, will they remain where they are, or will they kind of drop back down?
Great question. Here's my thing. I bet you what's happening. Now, I'm making assumptions. So whoever that guy is or girl is, reach out to me and we can have a different conversation on it. But I bet you, if you're really not wanting to pay for it more, there's one of two things happening. One, you don't have a good mindset as a business owner, because now you've invested in SEO and it could be working, right? And you don't want to pay for it. It doesn't make sense, right? That's not really the mindset you want as a business owner. Now, the other thing that could be happening, most likely what it is I can tell you right now, there's a lot of ways to manipulate data. There's a lot of ways to drive traffic to a website but there's not a lot of ways to get sales for you. So what's probably happening as this business owner, whoever you are, right, is the results look good, the data looks good, but the sales don't follow. That's probably where I'd say, man, you're already 6 months in, data looks good, but there's no sales that have increased. You're probably at a point where now it's like, this isn't really working very well. I need to be very on top, very well communication, go, something's not working with my SEO company. So that's probably what it is going, hey, if you're wanting to quit with them, you got to have a good mindset, or they're either sending a lot of traffic and data looks good, but sales don't follow, and that's why you want to quit. Ultimately, if they're doing SEO correctly, you could stop SEO and you'll be right there. But like I said earlier in the webinar, is if you stop it, it doesn't mean you're going to suddenly drop away, unless the SEO company is scamming. They start pulling backlinks and foundational stuff away from you. You'll stay there. But again, businesses are investing in SEO. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. So if you don't invest in it and continue it, although your rankings and your backlinks will stay there, others will become more important and more valuable. And Google wants to show a valuable business, period. They want to show a valuable business. And so if you want to have leads come in online, you have to show and prove and do everything you can to Google to go, I'm a valuable business, trust me online. So ultimately, you should stay there. You'll probably drop off. But if you're asking the question, there's probably a deeper issue.
Okay, that's super helpful. That makes sense. Awesome. Well, I think that's just hit the end of our 30 minutes. So I'll wrap it up here. But yeah, Travis, thank you so much. That was super helpful. I really enjoyed that. And thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. If any of you guys ever have questions, I'm open. Even if you're not in the right time for SEO, give us a call, shoot me a text, and I'm always happy to help and see, if you're struggling, or if SEO is even good for you right now, or just general, right? Digital marketing is a confusing world out there. Although I don't offer a bazillion services, I can help you make some good, first steps to be ready for SEO.
And it changes all the time as well, so it's definitely kind of good to have someone that knows how quickly
it changes all the time. I'm confused when it changes, and I'm in this industry.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Travis. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.